Troy, what'd you make of the first half performance?
Yeah, I mean, first off, before talking about the match itself, I thought this was the best atmosphere we had all season long, and I give tremendous amounts of credit to our supporters for not only turning out in numbers but in voice and pushing us on throughout. Some adversity tonight, self-inflicted adversity. I think in the end we have to take responsibility for being down a man again. But this is the type of atmosphere we have. I think we have 3 matches left at Audi Field this year that we have on the schedule. So we need that atmosphere again in a couple weeks' time. And in terms of the first half, great start. I think that we made an adjustment a little bit too late whenever they score a couple goals, and I think that adjustment helped us. And even prior to the red card, and I take responsibility for that, by the way. I felt like we were a little bit open in the beginning of the game, and we're not usually like that. When we made that adjustment, I thought we were really sound. And I think if it would have stayed that way and stayed 11v11, it may have been a different story. But we had 2 yellow cards with Boris as a 3rd yellow card prior to getting a red card. And this is, our 7th match, again, overall this year that we've been down a man. And those are difficult circumstances to overcome. I told the group I give them a ton of credit for the way that they fought and made it interesting. But 8 matches left, still everything to play for, and we don't have this type of room for these types of errors. Yeah, he had a little bit of a respiratory thing, also coupled with not a hamstring injury, but he was coming off a little bit of a hamstring strain in that match versus Mazatlan. Then got sick, so he's just been out for a little bit. But I was glad to see him get 45 in the second half.
Go to Sarah next.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. I know it's not the result you wanted, but the team really was very resilient, especially throughout the second half. And I wanted to ask, were there any performances in particular that you were really happy with tonight? And how does this set you up for this last stretch of the season on every point in every match?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the guys, as a collective, I wouldn't necessarily highlight any individual in the second half. The 3 guys that came on made a difference. It was good to see Jared bounce back from a tough giveaway and get a goal. Gabby did well when he came on. I think all the reserves made an impact, Pedro as well. But again, I can't spend too much time on we lose 4-3. That's what I expect from the guys. I expect that when we're 11v11. I expect that no matter what the circumstances are. This is the type of culture that we're trying to ingrain, but we need results out of it.
Next we'll go to Steven.
Yeah, you mentioned making an adjustment a few minutes into the half and we had a couple of goals. What was that adjustment?
Yeah, they just had more numbers in the middle of the field than us, so we weren't getting enough pressure on the first line, and we needed to adjust a little bit to have an extra number in the middle of the field because they were playing through us.
Next we'll go to Jimena.
Coach, I noticed that when we started playing the first half, the team is kind of a little slow. And the second half, all of the action starts, especially 20 minutes before the game ends. So what's happening? What the dynamic changed from the first half to the second half? Why, when FC Dallas started scoring many goals, then why is the dynamic and the mindset changing in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that, but also keep in mind we go up 1-0 a couple minutes into the match. So, I like that type of start. I'd like to sustain that and keep that going. But I think we've scored goals early in matches this year pretty consistently. We scored 3 goals tonight. So I think that when you do that, you have that type of output, you should get more than 0 points. And, we've just conceded too many consistently this year. I don't think it has to do with necessarily the time period or anything like that. We've conceded too many goals.
We'll go back to Stephen Goff.
I know you don't like speaking on officiating. I'll give you a chance if you'd like to.
I appreciate that chance, Steve, but I'm gonna politely decline.
Yeah, I noticed on the first set play, Cleach was giving a signal, and he did a nice little. Do you have several other in mind?
Yeah, the attacking set pieces, like on the flip side of the defensive set pieces where we give up a couple goals tonight, we've been excellent all year. Zach Prince does a lot of work with the guys, and we create opportunities. We score the first goal off of a really well-designed set piece.
And then we'll end it with Dennis Gomez.
Can you speak a little bit about the performances on Boris on his MLS debut and as well as Lesesne? I don't know if it was his debut, but with the goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, Boris, I think it's a good debut for him outside of the obvious, right? We'd love to have him on for the full match. And I think you saw what he's capable of. He's a very, very dynamic player. I thought he started the game well. First yellow that he receives, I think that one's a little bit questionable. The second one's not, you know. I don't know if that's a straight red or not. It looks like it was. I think we had a covering defender there. But, you know, outside of that circumstance, I was happy with Boris. And David now, you know, he's starting to show who he is as well for our fans. He's a guy that's very dynamic up and down the game, the entire match, up and down the touchline. And for him to get a goal is for a debut goal for DC United is definitely a positive for tonight. And you know, we're going to need that production from both those guys.